Hello everyone, you're welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television, broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Babla Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, women in the Republic of Cameroon complain that they have been relegated to the background as far as the Regional Council and Assembly Bureau is concerned. In the 10 regions of the country, the regional bureaus are headed by men, and the women say they have been relegated to the background. Also in this newscast, we'll talk about the plight of farmers in the far north region of the country. Farmers in the far north region are suffering because of recurrent deadly Boko Haram attacks and also extreme weather conditions. Stay with us. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us in this edition of the news. We begin right away in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, where women are raising concerns about their position in the Regional Council and Assembly Bureau in the 10 regions of the Republic of Cameroon. The councils and assemblies are headed by men, and the women in the far north region of the country stood up to say this is discrimination, this is relegating them to the background and reducing them to secondary positions. For me, I'm Sonsanda.
It was going to be a hitch-free election of Pioneer Bureau members of the final Regional Council before the final list, qualified by female councillors as gender bias, was made public. Female councillors of the final region noticed with shock and dissatisfaction that no woman was included in the final list.
To our greatest surprise, we found no woman on the list, whereas we have qualified female councillors. We have lecturers, financial experts, principals, and other key women folks. The 30% was not even respected.
Cheated out of the main bureau, women of the final region also saw themselves kicked out of those heading different commissions.
It's unfortunate that we were pushed only to the level of commission members and not even heads of commissions.
They want their national president to know that they have not only been refused the trumpeted 50-50 gender representation, but also denied a 30% female representation, which they asked for in the final regional bureau.
It's been 3 years that we were told of 50-50 gender representation. We did not ask for. We asked for 30%, which has not been given.
The majority CPT and female councillors of the final region of Cameroon think that the party directives were not respected by the delegated officials. They say the all-main bureau of the final regional council is an insult to the female folk.
Youths on the part are also complaining that they have been sidelined as far as the setting up of the Regional Council and Assembly Bureau is concerned in the 10 regions of the country. In the meantime, the Regional Council President in the far north region has urged young people to get ready as they will be involved in different developmental activities within their communities as they take over the region with their election yesterday. Details with Fcfa.
Though tension marked the first ever session of the Rise of the Far North Regional Councillors, the pioneer presidents and other executive members were finally elected to pilot affairs of the Far North region.
L'extrême nord est dans une situation particulière.
The Far North region is in a particular situation in terms of poverty, security and underdevelopment.
Comme notre rôle en tant qu'exécutif du Conseil régional,
all of us constituting the executive body of the Far North Regional Council are marching towards crushing these diverse socio-economic challenges.
L'extrême nord a des potentialités. Nous, notre rôle consistera à mettre tout en œuvre pour exploiter ces potentialités en particulier.
Regarding the agri-industrial and pastoral potentials of the Far North region, the youth must get engaged for change and development of the region, given this opportunity.
La population nombreuse, la jeunesse nombreuse qu'il faut mettre au travail. Nous comptons sur le gouvernement.
We count on government's support and those of its external partners to attain these objectives. Daniel Kalobasu, now pioneer president of the Far North Regional Council, was managing director of Le Crédit du Sahel, a microfinance institution established in the 3 northern regions of Cameroon.
In the crisis-hit English-speaking northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon, the regional assembly officials elected yesterday have expressed their determination to work for the return of peace and normalcy in the regions that have been under the wave of socio-political and security tensions for more than 4 years today. In the meantime, there are still several questions being raised by some analysts and opposition politicians with regards to the effectiveness and the efficiency of the institutions being put in place within a system which they consider as archaic and unproductive, that is the Biya regime, referring to the regime of President Paul Biya. And in the southwest region of the country, the elected pioneer regional officials say the decentralization code being implemented is the game changer. Erijato reports.
Those in power who are the corridor of decision making in the nation have repeatedly
Sorry for the abrupt end of that report by Derek Jato in the southwest region of the country. In the meantime, we go over to the northwest region, precisely in Kamer, in the Donga-Mantum division, where council workers stage a strike action demanding for social benefits. They have not been at work, or they have not been working for several months because of the security challenges, but they are asking that their social benefits be paid. Details in this report.
For several days now, the gates of the Nkambe Council has remained closed. This was because the workers are angry.
Issues that the staff of Nkambe Council raised were issues raised against the municipal treasurer. And most of the things date back to 2014, but they were wide-ranging, including deductions of CNPS, other taxes, and either not paying or paying in a timely manner, not paying exhaustively. They included also issues on revenue and expenditure and other remunerations, which were not satisfactorily handled.
Spotted sitting in a haphazard manner outside the council building, their cry is for the municipal treasurer to pay their social benefit at CMPS, which has been deducted from their salaries after days of no work. A crisis meeting took place, bringing together Mayor Shea Musa and the councillors to look for a way forward. At the end of the crisis meeting, a committee was created to look into the problems raised by the workers.
The financial issues will be monitored. The first one has already been handled. Means that they've gone into seeing how the workers can enjoy Christmas. The second one is seeing how the social insurance contributions are being paid. they already asked the staff to designate somebody who is responsible for monitoring the situation. Whenever it's being paid, he has the result, has the receipt and the evidence. So that is a big step forward.
While the committee goes into work, the mayor and his councillors had already agreed on something.
We were able to raise resources, not from the council coffers, but alternative independent measures, and I'm happy that the negotiations led to the staff calling off the strike action. Of course, on the understanding that the measures that are agreed upon with the senior divisional officer for Donga Mantum as a representative of the state, the staff and ourselves would be meticulously respected.
With this crisis meeting and its resolution taken, many are hoping that workers will return to their job sites.
Contrary to the situation in many other parts of the two English-speaking regions of the country, Camer has been relatively calm for the past 4 years, with the council workers managing to carry on with some of their duties despite the security threats as a result of the Anglophone crisis. But for some days now, they have been away from work, asking that their social benefits be paid, and it took the intervention of municipal authorities of the area for the strike action to be called off. Now to the city of Bamenda, still in the northwest region of the country. Several persons have been deprived of their source of livelihood by a fire incident that consumed several shops at the city Chemists roundabout. It's Manjika Gabriel.
It was exactly 4 a.m. this Wednesday that fire engulfed some stores located in the city chemist neighborhood of Bamenda. The arrival of the Army Rescue Unit enabled the flames to be controlled, but at dawn, the destruction caused by the inferno was very visible. A carpenter's workshop and 3 stores that deals in the sale of car spare parts were completely burned down. One of the owners say money worth 1 million francs CFA burnt into ashes.
Even raw cash, everything. The raw cash now about, let me just, more than a million. Thing what they want from government, so made a help way. Anywhere where they feel do for say they matter, they okay.
The cause of this latest incident still remains unclear to the inhabitants of city chemist in Bamenda.
Back to the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, we are now going to talk about the plight of farmers in that part of the country. The farmers are suffering because of the recurrent attacks of militants of the Nigerian terrorist sect Boko Haram and extreme weather conditions. Harvests are poor and income has significantly dropped. Details in this report by Makule Fogwe.
The agricultural sector in the far north region has been greatly affected due to the heavy floods witnessed in the area, causing enormous material and financial damages. This year's harvest was really poor. The heavy floods affected our crops. The presence of some insects equally crippled our sector. Added to the problem of floods, insecurity is another threat. The activities of the Boko Haram terrorist sect has forced many farmers to abandon their farmlands and seek refuge in safer areas. Despite these challenges faced by farmers, many of them were able to brave the odds by participating in a mini agro-pastoral fair with a little harvest they made.
Nous saluons leur résilience.
I salute the resilience of these farmers. It has not been easy for them this year. The activities of the Boko Haram terrorist sect has fragilized their sector. Before, we used to distribute rice, maize, millet and other items to neighboring countries like Nigeria and Sudan. But this time around, things are hard.
Trouver en la région extrême un grenier.
In order to revamp the agricultural sector, the Ministry of Agriculture decided to support the sector with a sum of 33 billion Cfa francs. Minader will continue to support farmers. 2 weeks ago, we launched a project. It will go a long way to help these farmers.
Le PATFA qui envisage d'accompagner les producteurs dans...
At the end of the mini agro-pastoral fair, some farmers who exhibited the best farm produce were awarded prizes.
Now in news out of Cameroon, the United Nations says the town of Bambari in the Central African Republic has been retaken from rebels who seized it on Tuesday. A spokesperson said United Nations peacekeepers and national security forces were in control, having pushed the militants back into the bush, and he said civilians who had fled the fighting are starting to return. The government has accused the former president Francois Bozize of conniving with armed groups in an attempt to stage a coup. He had rejected his involvement in a coup attempt. Russia and Rwandan Rwanda have sent hundreds of additional troops to enhance government security effort as the rebels try to advance towards the capital Bangui. The Central African Republic is due to hold elections on Sunday. Health authorities in Tunisia have announced the extension of the country's nightly curfew until mid-January 2021. The decision flows from recommendations of Tunisia's COVID-19 Scientific Committee. More than 120,000 persons have been tested positive for coronavirus in the country since March 2020. Majority of the infections have been recorded in recent months. The Health Ministry said the new strain of COVID-19 has been recorded in Tunisia. The country is expected to roll out vaccines in April 2021. Official figures show that the death rate in the country is averaging more than 40 persons a day, and 77% of intensive care unit beds across the country are occupied. There are growing public frustration over the continuous restrictive measures to curb the spread of the virus. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us in Talking Point. Our guest today is an IT expert. Her name, Dr. Imelda Tinglet Fumenka. She is from the United States of America. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to be talking about cyber security issues at a time when cyber crimes are on the rise in the Republic of Cameroon. Recently, the Minister of Post and Telecommunications was here in Douala, moving from one school to the other higher institutions of learning, secondary and primary schools, trying to sensitize some students within the framework of government's effort in the fight against cyber criminality. You're coming from the United States of America. What's the situation there? Is cybercrime on the rise, as it is the case in Cameroon?
Well, I will tell you that cybercrime is definitely on the rise everywhere, but in our nation, we're doing quite a little bit. Our government is doing everything to ensure that such crime is eradicated or it's at least mitigated to an extent. And we're hoping that in our country, Cameroon, where such kind of crimes should definitely be eradicated as much as possible, hence sensitizing a lot of our own youth, the younger ones who are growing up. They should come up knowing fully well that with the internet being as it is, as vast as it is, there are extents that for some reason you realize that the crime is on its rise, and we need to do everything to make sure that they are trained to know how to mitigate such crimes that can be very, very devastating for our country.
As an IT professor, what's your analysis of the years on social media in particular?
Well, social media has pretty much taken the world in its entirety by storm, as you can pretty much attest to it. We know very well that with cybersecurity and the crimes that are out there, it pretty much starts off from social media platforms, like the common ones like Facebook. We realize that quite a few people tap into people's accounts without authorization, and then they go about requesting sums of monies from other people. And these are some of the things that we need to guard against by trying to at least train those who are using these platforms to be very versed with how they can be able to secure their own social media platforms to eradicate and or eliminate such crimes from being propagated or being fostered in that environment.
All right, you're from the United States of America, you're a Cameroonian.
Yes.
You're coming from the United States of America, and you're bringing in something which is expected to help enhance the fight against cybercrime in Cameroon. Have you analyzed the situation and the context of Cameroon?
Well, from the Cameroon context, I haven't quite done my own due diligence to figure out how that can be implemented. But knowing fully well that with all of us being here, our goal is to ultimately be financially stable to an extent. And in an effort to do that in this digital world, you have to know what can be utilized to eliminate such crimes from being propagated in the world. Hence, whatever opportunities that are exposed to us, for instance, what I will be talking about, pretty much a breakthrough to our community, it's very, very automated, and it's artificial intelligence based, which will be able to mitigate some of this cybersecurity related concerns that most of us in the world, and especially Cameroon, will be kept abreast of to ensure that such crimes don't get fostered and or moved to a different level that can crumble our nation.
That can crumble our nation. It's already been crumbling individuals who either scammed or suffer one cybercrime or the other. Now, to prevent it to spread further, to crumble the nation, as you rightly said, you're coming in with something. What's it all about? Can you tell us a little more about that?
It's actually an opportunity that will relieve all of us from a financial breakthrough standpoint. It's called OnPassive. OnPassive in itself is actually a paradigm shift which provides a total internet solution and a highly internet-based solution that is automated to the extent where it embeds the technology of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence in itself being something that it's very robust, the way it's been developed, they already integrate a lot of the security mechanism in it to allow that as this opportunity is being utilized or is being gained by some of our Cameroonians, they will be earning money in the future without the chances of somebody tapping into their platforms or into their back offices, and that's the way OnPassive is going to be presented to us down the line.
All right, just a step backward. Artificial intelligence. What's it all about?
More or less a robotic type setup whereby it's a non-human driven platform that allows for highly intelligence related programming interfaces automated without human interference to ensure that certain aspects that we want to happen down the line are already built in through either machine language or any other high-level languages. Hence, it's performing as a human being, but to an extent where it's allowing for an automated process to handle those aspects that a human intervention could possibly cause some errors.
What's the difference with what you're talking about now and the other digital platforms that already exist?
OnPassive in itself, it's a platform, again, it's a one-stop go-to platform that will provide multiple internet-based solutions to you and our users. For instance, digital marketing, let's suppose OConnect is one of those that will be able to allow connection of different users within the same arena, just like Facebook and even Zoom. So video conferencing is going to be one of the packages or the tools that will be brought into this OnPassive platform. Now, the difference is that I currently use Zoom, but as I go through Zoom, somebody just dives right in and they are already scribbling on my screen. Hence, the security is not tight enough. But this OConnect and all the video conferencing platform that OnPassive is going to be made available to us will already eradicate and or has taken into consideration some of this security glitches that this our current huge giant platform platforms like Zoom, Facebook, and all whatnot are currently using, they will take care of that so that when we tap into it, we will all be in a situation that is well secured.
How accessible is it in terms of cost, in terms of internet speed and all the rest?
If you have just any kind of basic internet that you can connect to, you will definitely have access to OnPassive. And to gain access to it is just gofounders.net, and to subscribe, it's nothing but $97. And $97, I believe, is about 52,000 francs. But this is going to yield you insurmountable amount of money for a lifetime. So it's not going to be something that's going to be short-lived, according to how it's been professed by the founder, the CEO, Ash Mufara. We know very well that, and we are envisioning that when this whole OnPassive thing comes to fruition, everybody will be at a level where they will be self-sufficient financially stable, and again in an environment that the platform is fully secured.
50,000 francs here is a huge investment for many Cameroonians. So what's the assurance that if a Cameroon comes into this platform, it's going to help him to be more secured on the internet, number one, and to help him, number two, to be financially stable, as you indicated earlier?
As we can say, everything else is open to the extent where we can only speak to what we know. At this time, for instance, being an IT expert, I know very well that anything that is AI-driven definitely has a lot of security embedded in it, depending on the programmers. Myself being a programmer over the years, I know very well that anything that's coming up now and in the future has to automatically be built in an effort to ensure that it incorporates such security, which this whole AI-driven platform is going to provide to us going forward.
Is going to provide all this security that we need in order to keep our data and other things that we have on the internet safe. And how
Absolutely.
How is it going to work? Will the people just go to the internet and you have it there like you have the other platforms?
Absolutely. Well, as it stands right now, most people who are coming in are founders. And just like you can be a founder of any company, at this time before it's being launched, so during this pre-launch stage, or it's gearing towards pre-launch, when you come in, you are definitely a partner, in essence, a founder. And after that period, you are now already an owner of a company. Hence, we are advising people who are interested to kind of join in. For instance, this evening after I leave from here, I will be in Somatel Hotel down the street, and I will be doing a live webinar on OnPassive. So those who are interested can join in there at exactly 7:30 p.m. Cameroon time. And again, that's an opportunity that's open out there for everyone. A lot of us who are going through financial struggles at this time, we envision that as you buy into this opportunity, then you are opening the doors to financial freedom.
You know, this whole idea of being passive and then earning money, is that right?
It's one of
you're on the internet and you're earning money there.
It's passive.
It's not yet very clear to those of us on this other side of the world, and you know, it takes a lot for people to believe that you can be on the internet, you're not going to work, you're not going out there to do one or two things, and then you're earning money there. Can you?
Yeah, let me expound on that
in a simple way.
The thing that with the internet, since the advent of the internet, lots have been happening. Most people even stay home, even to do their groceries, meaning to buy their food. They don't necessarily have to go to the markets or to their regular shops and buy food. They can sit right at home, use their computers, and tap in and order whatever they need, and it gets delivered right to them. It's the same concept of what is going to be happening here. Now look at it from the stance where you are not that purchaser, you are the person who owns that whole environment, that marketplace, whereby other people will be able to utilize it and to use the services that are provided. For instance, digital marketing, search engine optimization, or web development, and all those things. Those services will be clearly available to you via OnPassive, which really does not call for you to be actively engaging in it. And that's the passive income that you and I really need. For instance, there are rich folks out there who say, hey, if you cannot really make money while you are asleep, then you really will be a poor person in life. So it's incumbent upon you to do something that you can be earning that passive residual income, which OnPassive, I guarantee you, it's going to be providing to you as you engage and or involve and buy into that opportunity.
So months ago, I was discussing with a young entrepreneur here, and he said that if you don't do what you know how to do, then what you know will do you, referring to poverty. If you don't work, poverty will do you. And then now you said if you don't make money while you're asleep, then you're really going to be poor.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let me get that.
So I'm pretty much saying, and actually in support and to underscore what you've just said, hey, if you don't know what you're doing in an effort to engage in that thing, set the platform and then sit back and then just watch the monies grow. Of course, you need to be savvy enough to know that such a thing exists. Hence, if I'm presenting you such an opportunity, I am a firm believer whereby if you come to me with an opportunity, I jump right on it and then I learn after. Because again, I don't know when an opportunity is going to be a successful one or not a successful one. So it's always good that if anybody shares an idea to you, take it and run with it. Besides, what's the risk in this one? And $97, okay? It's not an opportunity where they're asking for you to come up with tens and thousands of dollars to invest in it. But as this opportunity pans out to become reaches fruition, it's definite that you will be a better person at a better stance if you do buy into it.
Dr. Imelda
Yes.
Inglet Fomanka,
Yes,
IT
sir.
professor. Thank you for joining us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Equinoxe Wise up next.